She stands on the deck of a small salvage ship and stares at a storm of light in the dark sky. Her name is Lily, and she is a human engineer in her late 20s, who keeps a calm face even when all alarms shout in red. She breathes slow and steady, and holds a tool belt at her waist. Under the belt hangs a long metal rod with a power core that locks between her legs when she braces in zero gravity. She calls it the stabilizer, and it lets her hold heavy frames steady with her hips and thighs, so her hands can be quick and safe above her. The storm opens like a wound in space. Out of that wound falls a broken craft made of soft gold metal and clear crystal bones. It looks like a fallen leaf from a giant tree that grew in a dream. The craft hits the thin ice of the outer ring and skids toward the salvaged ship. Lily snaps the stabilizer into place and hooks a cable. The deck tilts and groans. She plants her boots and lets the tool hold her center like a root. Then the cable bites. The broken craft slows, and the storm goes quiet from the golden hull. A door unfolds like a flower, and 3 alien women step out. They are tall and bright and shaped with flowing lines like rivers. Their skin glows with sea colors. One has pale blue eyes that seem to swim like light on water. Her name in her language sounds like a bell Lily cannot say it well. She calls her Mira, with her our soul, and Aaron. They speak with music in their voices. They are adults and leaders, and they stand with steady poise even as their craft shivers. Mira moves close and places a hand over her heart. She looks at the stabilizer that rests between the legs of the human engineer. She points to it with wonder like a child who finds a star in a pocket. She says in careful trade speech, "That thing between your legs, human? I need that thing again." Human, her voice carries awe and need and a hint of fierce joy. Lily smiles at the odd words in the mix of urgency and respect. She knows they mean the tool that saved the craft. She gives a small nod and answers in simple trade speech that she can help the aliens explain that their ship lost a spine and their engine chamber has twisted. Only a fixed brace with strong human muscle and a steady center can hold the weight while they fuse a new rib. Their own frames are graceful, but not built for hard leverage in small spaces. They need a human who can turn into a hinge and keep still while heat sings around her. Lily fits that task. The stabilizer fits too, and the aliens cannot fly home without it. She calls her crew on the salvage ship and tells them to strip down the work. Brooke brings coils and clamps. Zoe brings a clean air tent and a crate of fusing paste. Megan brings water packs and a box of soft fiber to pad the brace. They are human women and mechanics and pilots, and they move as one. The aliens watch with wide eyes. They whisper a word that means flow like one river. They say humans do this. Well, they say humans make strength. Into a dance, Lily trusts her team and then turns to Mira. She steps inside the golden craft. Its walls hum like a living thing. Crystal ribs arch over a narrow pit. The broken engine chamber leans to one side like a hip out of place. Soul runs a hand over the fracture and light follows her fingers. Aaron mixes a resin that smells like rain in a forest. Mira hands Lily a silver harness that will clip to the human tool Lily sets the stabilizer between her legs and locks the harness. There is no shame here. It is a craftsperson, and her brace, the tool, is like a spine outside her body. Mira checks the clips with gentle care. She meets the human gaze with warm, heavy focus. "You hold our ship," now she says. Lily gives a small laugh and says, "Then let us breathe." As one heat lamps ignite the air wavers, the women begin to work. Lily lowers herself into the pit, her thighs and hips grip the brace. Her back lines up with the tilted engine chamber. Brooke and Megan feed her cable. Zoe watches the angles and counts. Soul sings a low note that keeps time with her hands. Aaron spreads resin that shines like morning dew. Myra guides the line of force and lays her palms on the human shoulders. The ship listens and settles a little. Lily feels the pull of weight and the bright tremble of heat. She breathes slow and pushes with her legs. The stabilizer hums and drinks the shock. Her arms hold her core, tightens. The broken ribs move into place like puzzle bones finding each other in the dark. Mira speaks soft words. She tells stories of her sea world where tall kelp rises and the tide draws long lines in sand. Her voice makes the work A calm path Lily follows the voice and holds center. Time folds resin. Kier's light runs through the crystal bones and becomes a soft net. The engine chamber clicks into its cradle. Zoe calls out that the seam line's true. Brooke tightens the last clamp. Megan wipes the sweat from Lily neck with a clean cloth. Aaron seals the final arc, and the ship sighs like a body that finds a lost rhythm. Myra bows her head and touches the brace. She says again, "That thing between your legs. Human, I need that thing again." Lily laughs now and tells her they can use it whenever the work calls. Myra quickens. Her joy is bright as a lighthouse. She says she wants to learn. She says her people think in curves and streams, but she wants to think in hinges and roots and human ways. Soul smiles and says she will learn. To Aaron nods and says she will bring new resins that love, heat, and hold hands with metal. The days that follow fill with work and with small talks and shared meals. Lily shows them how to balance heavy frames with the brace. Mira tries the harness and trembles at first, then finds her feet and her breath. She laughs in a low, ringing tone that fills the bay. Humans and aliens lift and weld and mend side by side. Zoe teaches Soul to cut cable safely. Brooke trades jokes with Aaron and makes her smile with a crooked grin. Megan records notes in a soft voice for the log. Through all this, the aliens learn human slang, and the humans learn sea words that sound like rain and shells. They make a braid of language that is sturdy and kind. Mira begins to use human metaphors. She says we must nail the sky to the beam. She says we must hold the moon by its jacket. Lily answers with sea talk. She says we must float the engine like a jelly under the waves. They laugh and work and make a bridge between hearts. One night the storm returns outside. It is a tide of static that licks the hull. The golden ship starts to shake in its cradle. A newly set rib creaks as if it might slip. Alarms wake the bay. Lily runs in with her team. The aliens rush into. Everyone is adult and everyone is ready. Myra points to the rib and says we need the brace. Lily locks the stabilizer in an instant and plants herself under the strain. Brooke feeds a safety band over the arc. Zoe counts again and keeps the rhythm. Megan checks the air tent for leak. Soul sings to hold the beat steady. Aaron warms the seam so it can settle true without cracking the storm claws at the ship. But the human legs and the brace do not move. They make a pillar that does not fear the wind. When the storm fades, the rib holds. Fast steam lifts like the last breath of a hard dream. Mira looks at Lily with fierce light in her eyes. She says again, but softer, "That thing between your legs saved us again." Human Lily answers that the thing did not act alone. She says, "All hands made the ship safe." Myra agrees and says the truth, but she adds that the human center lit the path days later. The golden craft is whole. The crystal bones sing when power flows and the engines hum like whales. The alien women invite the human crew to ride out to the edge of the ring for a final test. They stand at the windows as stars. They swim by like slow bright fish. Myra raises hand and calls to the ship, and the ship answers with a low tone like joy. Lily feels a warmth rise in her chest. This is why she left Earth and learned the hard work of space. The aliens offer a gift to the humans. It is a thin plate grown from crystal seed inside. It swims a map that shifts. When one thinks of home, they say it will find a safe path through storms if a human hand holds it. Lily takes the plate with care and thanks them in sea words that sound like small bells. Mira smiles wide at the sound. She says, "Humans take alien words and make them into tools, too." Before they part, Mira asks one, "More time for the brace not to keep, but to copy?" She says her people will learn this human way and honor it, humans say. Yes, they spend a last day drafting with chalk and light. They draw simple shapes and simple words that tell how to stand and breathe and hold center. With the brace, they do not fill the page. With hard math, they make it so any worker can learn and teach and make more. When all is done, the ships drift apart on soft thrusters, but the two crews promise to meet again. They agree to leave a beacon near the old storm, a bright seed in the dark that says we work better as one. Lily stands on the deck of her salvaged ship and watches the golden leaf turn into a point and then into a memory that still glows. She touches the stabilizer at her waist and thinks of how much can change when a person says, "I will hold steady so you can heal." In the weeks that follow, word spreads through ports and markets and relay stations. People talk about the golden craft and the Human crew and the brace that rests between the legs and turns a body into a hinge for hope. They talk about an alien woman named Mira who learned to balance a rib with a human way and laughed when resin shone like morning captains and welders. And pilots share the story with warm pride. They say this is HF. Why, in a true sense, not because a human fought with fists, but because a human stood still and used a tool and helped friends keep. Their home Lily keeps working. She takes small jobs and big ones. She helps a miner on a dusty moon get her drill back. She helps a rancher on a brown planet repair a water spine. I need that thing again, human.